Hello, everyone. This is the Transform Through Love interview series. My guest today is Kelly Grignon, right?
Yep, very good. Yes.
Good. Yeah, and I'm so excited to have you because I know that your story is something that a lot of women can relate to.
I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad that we got to connect and we found time to do this. It's so cool that we're, on opposite sides of the earth and we get to connect and impact each other. Thank you very much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so let's dive right into your story. You shared a little bit about, what it was like to kind of wake up from, being in this kind of, this kind of stereotype life that wasn't really fulfilling.
Yes, yeah. So when I was 20, my husband and I, well, now husband, at the time he was my boyfriend, we had been together for about 8 months, and we kind of had that relationship where, like, we kind of met, and 3 months in, we were like, oh, I know I'm going to be with you forever. So, things were going well, things were great, and then we found out we were pregnant with my daughter, and it was kind of like reality hit me in the face, and I look back, obviously, hindsight is 2020, and I can see that in that moment I bought into every belief that was stereotypical about being a young mom, unexpected pregnancy, and having to then go into the real world. And it was that life was going to be hard. We were going to live paycheck to paycheck. Everything I wanted, I was going to have to give up or wait until my kids were like 18. And it was just going to, my husband and I were going to argue about money, like all of the stereotypical things. And when my daughter got to be about 5, it was kind of like you were saying, it was this waking up moment that was like, I don't want to do it this way anymore. I don't want it to be hard and struggle anymore. I want to be happy. I want to be excited about what I'm doing and do the things that I want to do instead of every morning it's a sippy couple of orange juice and a coffee for me and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on the TV and the same thing day after day. I mean, I could still sing that dang theme song. And I know they're catchy for a reason, but, my daughter's 10 now. And it's like I could still sing that theme song word for word. And I was doing the same thing every day, day after day. And it wasn't until that moment of like, no, I don't want that anymore. I want to do something different. I want more. I know I'm meant for more. I'm not supposed to struggle like this. And it was that waking up moment of, okay, well, what else can I do? What other options are there? What other new things can I do?
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. And was there some kind of let's say a specific event or something that happened that made you realize that? Or was it just like gradually accumulating with
well, I think with any situation like that, like things can they gradually kind of creep up and build up on us. But what happened was my husband and I had a conversation about getting a divorce. I kind of realized like I'm unhappy with something. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I don't know who I am anymore. Kind of that, I call it a mom life crisis because it's not really a midlife crisis, but it's like my kids are a little bit more independent at that point, and I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I want to do, and if my marriage isn't what I want. And so we sat down and we thought about, I was like, I think we need a divorce. I don't know what other options there are. That was what I'd seen my parents do. A lot of our family members have had divorces, and in the world now, your divorce is very common. So it was kind of like, well, I think that's our only option. But in that conversation, it was like, but I don't want that option. So let's look at what else there needs to be and what else is going on. And through that process, it was kind of like, I am unhappy with what I've let go of and what I want to do, and realizing we can choose something different. We can do something different. So it was kind of the marriage piece that woke us up, that was like, this isn't what we wanted it to be. Let's do something different and figure out another option, because I don't want what everybody else is doing, which is getting a divorce. I want to do it my way. I want to do it a different way. So we had to find solutions and options and a new way to do things.
Yeah, and it's great that you did that together because, I know a lot of people who are in that situation and who would say, okay, let's get a divorce. It's, maybe seems like the easiest thing, but I don't know if it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that was our conversation. It was like, I mean, is that really our only option? I mean, that's what everybody else has done, but is there another way? Is there something else? Or, it's going to be hard, but I don't think we want that. So we had to do that realization, that awakening moment of, okay, well, what else?
Yeah, and the question is, are they happier when they are divorced? Is that really the reason, or is there something deeper? Yeah. And I can relate so much. When you have kids, you are kind of like giving a part of yourself away, like giving up something, because you now have this responsibility and you have kids to take care for, and and there's only so much time in the day, right? But how did you change that? So what did you do? Did you go on like a personal journey of self-discovery or something?
Of sorts, yeah. What we had realized is that we needed to take care of ourselves individually and go through. For us, it started with health and fitness, and it was like, well, let's work on what we're eating. Let's work on exercising more. And if I'm going to be making myself better, then what I bring to our marriage is going to make the whole marriage better, because my part of it is better. So by both of us focusing on health and fitness for a little while, because that was something we knew that we could completely control. We had complete control over what we put in our mouth and how much we moved. So it was kind of that, quote unquote, easier place to start than trying to do something else that we really weren't familiar with. So we started there, and then around that time, just before that, I had started in the entrepreneur world. I was with the Mary Kay company, which is a direct sales company, and shortly after our discussion, I went into the Beachbody company, which is a health and fitness company, and kind of got my feet wet in this personal development and this entrepreneurship world, and started to go through that self-discovery of, okay, what do I like? What do I want to do? How can I do more? And how can I make this work with having kids? And I knew I didn't want to get another job and go work for somebody else. So then it was, okay, if that's not what I want, then what are my options for what I do want? And it was kind of that give and take process of, he's going to do stuff for his business and for his job and himself, and I'm going to do my thing, and then we can come back together and really give more to each other, because we're more fulfilled ourselves.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. Great. So share a little bit more. So in what place are you right now with your marriage, with your life? What do you do now?
Well, my marriage is very good now. We're in a totally different place. Yeah. We've taken time. Actually, just recently we did some coaching and some work together specifically on our marriage and investing in it and really focusing on it and kind of diving deeper into it. So we're more aware that those pieces are needed, and we do give it more attention and more focus. We moved in October of last year. We up-leveled our home, so my environment is a lot better. And for myself personally, my business is something that I started about 2.5 years ago. I jumped into my own life coaching business, and I work with other moms that are in the place where I was. Typically, they're in the network marketing businesses, but also kind of, they just are a little lost. They're a little overwhelmed, overstressed, and they're like, I don't even know what to do, which is exactly where I was. So I work with moms that are in that place and help them go from that overwhelmed, overstressed place to more of an overflow of love, of money, of clients for their business, of finding themselves again, and creating a balance between being mom and still doing something for yourself. I think sometimes we feel guilty when we do things for ourselves because we feel like we're not giving enough to our kids, or we buy something for ourselves and we're like, oh, but then I can't do that for my kids. And it's finding that balance between work and life and ourselves and our family that I really focus on helping moms customize for themselves, because it's not necessarily the same for you as it is for me, as it is for somebody else, but it's finding what works for each individual, finding what's your joy, what's your happy place, who are you as a woman, what are you meant to do, and what's your purpose, so that I love seeing that process unfold because I know how powerful it is for a woman to do that. I've seen it in myself, and now I get to see it in other women and clients as well. And it's so much fun now, like to find myself and to help women do the same thing, and then know that I'm not sacrificing my family, I'm not sacrificing my marriage, and everything is growing together where every part is up leveling all at the same time. And it sounds, kind of like you're juggling a lot, but it's not. Everything works so well together by finding that balancing point and embracing what makes us happy, what makes us feel good every day, instead of feeling like all of these things that society says I have to do, I should do, I need to do. It's no, what's true for me, even just in this moment, what's true for me, let alone what's true for me this year or with this business or marriage. It's kind of that process of doing the daily things that evolve into the monthly and yearly pieces of making everything what we want it to be.
Yeah, I love that. And it's beautiful that you can speak from experience when you're coaching other women, because you've gone through that process. You know what it feels like, you know what it is like. And you know what it takes to change something.
Yeah. I think that helps a lot. A lot of my clients are kind of at this place of where they feel like they're not qualified enough. Like, I don't have a degree in that, or I don't have a certificate in that. It's like, what? I would rather learn from a woman that has been through it and has that personal experience rather than just a piece of paper on the wall. And I think that's a little bit about how the world is changing, that we don't put so much emphasis on the letters after their name or the certifications they have. Those are important. The education is important. Yeah. But it's not just about, I have this certificate. I want to know that you can use it. I want to know that you've done it, that you really get it, that you understand me, and you're going to understand what I'm going through. And a lot of my clients are kind of realizing that as well, that it's not so much that you've got a piece of paper that says, I can do this. You have so much knowledge from life. Like, that is in itself should be a certification that you're here on this planet. That in itself is so valuable. You've experienced things, you've walked through things, and that to me is more valuable in the women that I work with as clients, as well as my own mentors and coaches, and the people in my life in general. So I think that that's something that's shifting a lot more. It's like, you've been through it, that matters. That has much more importance and weight than we realize.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just say it's just what I feel as well, because if you have some kind of knowledge, if you don't know how to use that, so what is it worth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. And I love this cool hashtag that you have going on, like this Not Just Mom. I love it, because there's so many women out there that I see, they are kind of sacrificing themselves and are just mom. And then they feel more and more frustrated with that. And it's so important to find something that fulfills you, and only then you can give something to others, to your kids, to your family,
exactly.
To your partner. Yeah.
I have I think it's important for us to acknowledge that it's okay to be not just mom. That sometimes we feel like there's a lot of pressure to be all about our kids. And it's like, they don't need that. And quite honestly, it's not as good for them as we think it is. Like, they need their own independence, and they need you to be fulfilled and happy. And by you doing something that's outside of being mom, you get to be a better mom to them, and starting to shift that perspective and knowing that deep down you know that you want more. And for some women that's a business, for some it's another hobby. For some it's just health and fitness or girls' night out, but those things that we do outside of being mom, those make us the better woman, and the better woman is what makes us a better mom. And that's kind of where that hashtag Not Just Mom came from. It was like, I just want women to know they don't have to be just mom. It's okay to want more. It's okay to do more and to have more experiences, and that makes us better for our children. And we love our kids. We're not going to neglect them. That's not who we are. So we don't have to worry about that. How can we be even better for them? How can we be even a better person or woman, and bring the whole package to show them what's possible and be that happy for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I just, as you were talking, I had this realization that there are, I noticed that there are a lot of women right now, a lot of new moms that try to give everything to their kids. Mm-hmm. And they are kind of in this over giving mode. And at the same time, I just realized this creates codependency for the kids. Because when they are used to, I get everything from my mom and she's just there for me and she doesn't have a life outside of this, it creates codependency. And then who are you when the kids are out of the house? You will feel totally empty. Yeah, so important. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of the best pieces of marriage advice that I ever got was actually from my stepdad, and I was like 16, and he's like, so, what kind of guy do you want to marry? And I was like, oh, I want him to be a good dad, and we want him to be fun for them. And he was like, no. Like, when your kids are there till they're 18, and then they're gone, and then what? And then what do you have? You have to make sure that he's good for you, and that he's a good dad. And that was like, as a 16-year-old, that was such an eye-opening thing. That was like, he's right, that's important. We're supposed to let them grow up and be independent. And there's nothing wrong with being a mom that loves being a mom, but you still need something for yourself. You can't be all about your children all the time, because like you said, it does them a disservice as well as yourself. You can still do things that are fun for you, so that you can come back and give your kids even more. And they're going to love that independence, and that you're not creating that codependency of like, they rely on mom for everything. It's like, you're not going to be with them when they're 30. Yeah. They're supposed to be able to become an adult in society. So giving them the opportunity to learn who that person is for themselves is exciting for them too. So it's that balancing piece, and it's something so important. I think you're right. I agree. There's a lot of newer moms that are feeling that pressure to be all about their children.
Yeah. It's kind of like you have to recharge your own batteries first,
yes,
and then you can give something to your kids. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love that. I love this work you're doing. It's really, it's so needed right now. So needed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, as a mom, I'm a mom myself, so I know how it feels. Yeah, and I have 4 kids, so this is on another level,
Yes.
Yeah, but we have to find new role models, I feel, and we have to find people who can model this for us. So how does this look like? To be there for ourselves, and also to be there for our kids, and to have a great marriage, to have a great fulfilling life. Funny, postman is ringing, I think, but we don't let this distract us. Yeah, and this is so important.
I agree. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so how can people reach you when they feel they are in that place and want to change something?
Well, I have a Facebook page. I'm a big fan of Facebook. It lets me interact with a lot of people all over the world. So my Facebook page is Life Coach Kelly Grignon, and it looks like Grignon. And you said it so beautifully with your accent. Americans kind of butcher that. And I do have a Facebook group, the hashtag Not Just Mom. Facebook group. It's a great community group. We've got some really awesome women from all over the world, different walks of life, different careers, different styles, and I think that creates a really good diversity and balance. And I also do have a free mini course for the mom that's feeling overwhelmed and burnout. It's just a 3-part step-by-step process to take you from that overwhelmed, overstressed place into a little bit more balance, a little bit more control. And that's at burnout.kellygrignon.com. And you can find that in my group as well. There's a link to. So the hashtag Not Just Mom group is a really good place to kind of jump in and get a part of the conversation and start knowing you're not alone in the way that you're feeling. And I think sometimes that's the biggest like sense of relief for a lot of moms is, oh, I'm not crazy, oh, I'm not weird, it's okay for me to want this, to be like this, to think this, to be different. So that hashtag Not Just Mom, that's the title of the group, so it's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's a very important point, to not feel alone in this journey, and to kind of get this, to get that you're not wrong when you think that way, when you think you want something else, and when you think, okay, there must be something that fulfills me.
Yes.
And I can't just, living for other people.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, I think we're already, we covered everything. Maybe not everything, but that's what your group is for. Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing your story. I loved it.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, then everyone go to Kelly's group. There's a lot to discover there and a lot of value. And you are doing a lot of Facebook Lives in there as well, right?
I do, yep, pretty much every day. Give a little something, a little tip, a little insight, real life stuff. There was a day I did a live video and my dog fell into the pool in the middle of the video. So it's real life stuff. I'm not all about, necessarily glossing it over and making it look perfect. I mean, we're all moms. So it's a real life, real place group. It's a good community. We've done well with it.
Okay, cool. Okay, everyone, please join Kelly in her group. I will have a look myself because I haven't checked it out yet, so I will do that. And thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.